Hi everyone, for those who don't know me, my name is Peter Llewellyn. I run the services at MedCommsNetworking.com and the associated websites for the global MedComms community, by which I mean people who work in and around medical education, medical communications, and medical publishing. You'll find we specifically provide lots of resources at FirstMedCommsJob.com for anyone who wants to learn more about the business, including videos like this one. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Farrow, who's Group Communications Director at Oxford PharmaGenesis. He'll tell us about the opportunities they provide for new starters in MedComms. So over to you, Paul. Thank you.
Many thanks, Peter. So I'll just share my screen at this end. Bear with me a second. Can you see my screen, Peter?
Yeah, you just need to change it to slideshow mode.
Fantastic. Just wait for this to load up. Okay, so thank you for the opportunity today to talk about why Oxford PharmaGenesis is a great place to work and why people who are online today should consider us as the starting point of your MedComms career. So just to tell you a little bit about my background. So my background's rooted in the biomedical sciences, and I spent 4 fantastic years doing a PhD at the University of Oxford in the lab with some amazing people. But I think, like other people who've mentioned today, the opportunities outside the lab. Personally, I got tired of pipetting small volumes of liquid and decided to look around at other careers. So I looked at maybe being a patent attorney, maybe being a journal editor, which both careers didn't feel quite right. So when I came across an advert for a trainee medical writer working in barns in the Oxfordshire countryside, although I'd not heard much about the role, I applied and was lucky enough to get the job. That was back in 2005, and since then the opportunities for me to develop as an individual have come thick and fast. So I'm still there. I've never needed to look around at other options, and today I'm a Group Communications Director helping to lead across several of our global offices. So what we think makes Oxford PharmaGenesis different is our true independence. So we're not part of a network agency, we're not part of a conglomerate, we don't have any external funding, and that means we don't have any external financial influence on our decision making. The company is owned by a small group of people who are all actively involved in the day-to-day running of the company and delivering content for their clients, and that's what they're really, really passionate about. So that brings stability, but also it means that we can be agile and flexible and really growing to meet the evolving needs of our clients. So we've grown from 20 or so in Oxford when I first started to now being just over 300 people, and they are supported by 8 offices around the world, so we're truly global. And this growth has been based on the development of people and the opportunities that they've taken. So we haven't grown by mergers and acquisitions, as I'll show later. Our people have really seized those opportunities to grow the company. We've received recognition for that. So we've received several awards. I think the ones we're most proud of in the UK at the moment are we've been awarded the Queen's Award for the 2nd time running, and that's for outstanding achievement in international trade, and that's one of the UK's highest business accolades, so we're extremely proud of that. So what do we do? So as others today have said, we're a full service agency. We have a client base of over 50 clients, ranging from the big pharma companies through to patient groups, through to academic institutions. And having such a wide client base brings stability. So we know the pharma industry, occasionally you get mergers and acquisitions, that can lead to instability, but having a wide range of clients protects you from that. Our teams work across a number of areas, so medical affairs is one of the main ones, but we also get involved in other things like supporting our clients, working directly with patients to improve clinical trials, for example, or policy initiatives where there's an unmet medical need. And to deliver in these different areas, we do a number of different services. So publications, people will be familiar from academia. We do a lot of meetings and events, a lot more internal capability building over the last few years. And as others said, this is becoming increasingly digital. So we've invested in that in the last few years. I think one of the things we look for in people who are joining us is an entrepreneurial spirit, a creativity that allows us to develop innovative solutions, working with them so that we can deliver new products and services with our clients. So again, people have said culture is very important. We think ours is unique, that we put our patients at the center of what we do. We exist to help our clients bring evidence-based treatments to patients in areas of unmet medical need. And we have a philosophy that is very supportive. So we believe in people doing a great job for their clients and building really long-term stable relationships with their clients. Indeed, 8 of our top 10 clients have been working with us for more than 5 years. So if we allow people to focus on quality and relationships, the financial side of things seems to look after itself. And we've been able to build a company that we're really, really proud of. And we can see this reflected in some of the statistics. So we have a very low turnover rate. And in 2019, we were recognised with a Great Place Award in the medium category for being one of the UK's best workplaces. We've also been awarded the best workplace for women and also an award for excellence in wellbeing. And this isn't just in the UK, we've also won these awards in the US. So it's quite an exciting time to be joining Oxford PharmaGenesis. Just a few snapshots from earlier this year before things went a little bit crazy. So at the end of January, we opened a new building on our Oxford Barnes site that you saw in the previous picture. And this wasn't about adding more desks to the site. This was about enhancing our working environment. So we added a number of new state-of-the-art meeting rooms and a very big dedicated employee space for people to relax at lunchtime, for example. Our London office has just moved on the 3rd of February. It moved to a new, larger location just off the Strand, which has created a lot of space for us to grow and also enhance the working environment. And just before lockdown, I was lucky enough to be in Australia for various reasons, but also to attend our launch event for our Melbourne office. And I think this is an example of how people within the company have really grasped opportunities. So Steve Inglis, who you can see in this photo, he's a homegrown medical writer like myself. His desire was to set up Oxford PharmaGenesis in Australia. So the company backed that, and as of the end of February, we've got a team of 6 working out of Melbourne. And I think the other key thing here is the investment in our infrastructure. So when the very short notice came that we needed to switch from working from home, because we'd invested previously in things like Microsoft Teams, but that everybody's working with already, the transition was relatively seamless and the company's operating as normal despite the exceptional circumstances. So everything's running well. In terms of what we can offer you, I've already talked about our culture and supportive team environment. We can provide excellent training. This is a mix of on-the-job training, supplemented with classroom training through things like Be the Best, which is a mix of taught and online training delivered through LinkedIn Learning. And this is either bespoke technical training for our industry, or when it comes to management and leadership, it's sourced in from other areas. But what we believe really is giving people responsibility in real projects from day one, rather than necessarily taking people away to studying in classrooms. And that enables people to get a real sense of contribution very early in their career. We have a variety of project types, and as I've said, using myself and Steve as an example, there's a great opportunity for career progression. So to sort of illustrate this, I thought it was worth giving an example of a trainee who joined us 18 months ago, who's no longer a trainee. So this is Sarah. She joined as a trainee medical writer. And the interesting story for me about Sarah is I got to work with her very early it was a couple of weeks into her career. We started working together to put together the supporting information for a new account opportunity in chronic kidney disease. Sarah did a lot of research, pulled a presentation together, which we then used to win the account, and the account has grown from there. So she basically got the satisfaction of knowing she was contributing from day one. So Sarah's also worked on highly scientific advisory board meetings. She's got involved in e-learning modules where she got to do the voiceover for these things in the recording studio. and she's had the chance to travel. So this is her here in the US with more senior colleagues. So more recently, she's had a chance to be involved in major meetings, looking at how we mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on patients with cancer. And Sarah's also grasped the opportunity to get involved with Open Pharma, which is an initiative led or set up by Oxford PharmaGenesis, where we work in collaboration with very senior people within the pharma industry and in academia to really push for open science, so that we can improve how open the pharma industry is in terms of the information that it generates and shares. So as I mentioned, our commitment to open science, we're also very committed to our patients. They're the reasons we exist, and also to the social responsibility side of things. So just an example here on the right, we've got Alan from Ataxia at me in the barns explaining to people why what they're doing is so important to the patients that we serve. And we actively encourage people to get involved with corporate social responsibility events. So myself, I was lucky enough last year to be involved with a group of people who you can see here in the bottom right, from across Oxfordshire businesses, where we took on the challenge of doing the national 3 peaks, of climbing the 3 tallest mountains in the UK, all within 24 hours. So as a group, we raised £22,000 for charity. It was an event that I'll never forget. And it was really made possible by Oxford PharmaGenesis supporting this initiative, but also helping with running of the event and the project, so that it could be a success. So these are just an example of some of the different groups that we work with. We encourage people to get involved in this as part of their personal development. So we're continuing to grow. We're actively recruiting across all locations. You can find out more about the different roles that we have through personal stories on our website. We welcome speculative applications. We're looking at how we onboard people while people are working from home. So the coronavirus has not stopped us recruiting. If you have any inquiries or applications, including a cover letter, you can send these to our recruitment team via that email. And just to say, I'm here, I'm available on LinkedIn if anybody wants to reach out and ask any specific questions about Oxford PharmaGenesis. And hopefully I've given you a flavour of why it's a great place to work and a great place to start your career. Thank you, Peter.
Excellent, thank you, Paul. Can we just lose that slide then?
Sure.
Fantastic. Thank you. So great. Just by way of wrapping this up, thank you very much, Paul. For those of you watching this video, it's one of a series we recorded along with a panel discussion at our Meet the Agencies event in May 2020. You'll find all those videos and much more at FirstMedCommsJob.com. So do check that out now. Bye for now. Thank you very much. Thanks, Paul. Cheers.